Hey, what's up, Cancer? Thanks for checking out another one of my timeless general tarot readings. As you noticed, I'm doing this a little different this time, and I've decided to try a different format where I actually record myself doing the reading. And in the event any cards drop, I will show them to you, and as they do, I'll just collect them here in front of me, and I'll just go off of whatever I'm seeing. I'm not going to go with any particular format, so without any further ado, allow us to begin. Using my A Weight Tarot holographic, and I've only got one other deck out, my traditional tarot deck. Whoa. And as soon as I said that, look what you got. Dang, Cancer. So, disappointing because, like, every other read I've done so far, literally, like, Cap through Gemini was all on a good footing. A lot of the energy was in the upright, a lot of the energy was constructive and productive, envious energy, but this is not quite that. So, you know what though? Right when I said that, this dropped out right when I was talking about not using my other deck. So I'm not sure if this is for me or you. But since this is your reading, guess what? We're going to let you have it. You're welcome here. You can have it. You can have it. Okay, so it's disappointing though. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. That means that it's kind of a very cynical card. It's about your craftsmanship being very shoddy. Like, the perfect example I have for this is from the movie Matilda. Like, Matilda's dad would fix up these new cars, or he would fix up these used cars on the outside and sell them. Like, but, you know, after like 50 miles or so, they would junk out. And that's basically what the Eight of Pentacles is. That's basically what this is. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's disingenuous. The result of your product is disingenuous. Your work ethic is shoddy, and not necessarily accidentally because your skills aren't there. It's like by design this is for cheating people. It's part of what this is about. Which is why I was willing to maybe take it for me and say I could have improved myself by using my third deck. So I'll take that into consideration, but we're going to leave this as your reading. So I'm going to see if there's any other energy that will clarify this, because sometimes Eight of Pentacles reverse could also talk about, like, ooh, and we got the Empress in reverse. So kind of what I was going with here. So to start off, I was saying that the Eight of Pentacles had some negative connotations. However, now that we're seeing the Empress in reverse, here the Empress in reverse would lead me to believe that you're, like, overworking yourself. And you're overworking yourself to the point where it's affecting the quality of your product. So, lucky you, that kind of makes this Eight of Pentacles a little better. I'm not leaning towards it being that you're a shoddy craftsman or a cheat as much. Now, what I'm really leaning towards now is that you aren't taking the proper breaks. You aren't resting properly. You're not recharging and rejuvenating yourself properly, which is what the Empress in the upright tends to do, is recharge themselves. And they know when to rest themselves and regenerate themselves. Because you aren't regenerating yourself properly in that facet, the results of your work are inadequate. Maybe in your opinion, maybe in somebody else's opinion. Maybe you notice, maybe you don't. But it is affecting the quality of your results, which is better than you just being a cheat. So there is a potential for healing to be occurred here by rejuvenating properly. You've got to rejuvenate properly. Which sometimes it's like, how am I supposed to rejuvenate when I'm the only expert on the team and I have to work 20 extra hours every week to carry everybody else, and, you know, at the same time I'm not getting any respect for it. And nobody's sitting at my side. It's just, you know, put up or shut up kind of weird stuff like that. So I don't know what else could be going on causing this, but the bottom line is, it's because you are not rejuvenated. It's because you are not recovering properly, regenerating your energy. It's affecting your work quality. Or it could be somebody you're observing. I'll have to see what other clarities come out here. But the Empress, Venus energy. I'm not sure. I can't remember what Venus embodies exactly. I want to say Virgo. Not sure about that though. Okay, so here we've got something, let's see. Knight of Pentacles. So the recovery, you know, slow but steady. If you're the Knight of Pentacles, even though you're a Cancer, you kind of understand where you're trying to get to. And this effort of the Knight of Pentacles, this Knight of Pentacles energy in the upright, means that, you know, slow but steady, very steady progress towards your Eight of Pentacles. But it's going to stall if you don't rejuvenate properly. But with the Knight of Pentacles in the upright, it's a good sign that you are going to rejuvenate properly. And you're not going to overdo it. You're not going to try to rush the recovery. It's actually a good sign that you are going to be very patient and very steady. And slowly but surely, you are going to allow yourself to recover as you need to. You're not going to sweep under the rug false recovery. So that's kind of interesting to see that. It's a very interesting diligence for that. What's this? Okay, so right then we get the Queen of Wands following it up. Just barely poked out there. Fire energy, feminine fire energy, but not what mixes well with your water. You can embrace your water quality, sort of cultivates these pentacle energies, but now that we have the Queen of Wands here, very close to becoming the Empress. Maybe this is a boss of some kind. If it is you, the energy is like, it's very action-oriented energy. They're not in a toxic position. So it's somebody who might like require a lot of results, but they will understand where your well-being comes into the picture. So it's somebody who, if you're honest about what's going on, could work with you. They could, even as a boss or something. They do have a fire energy though, so you might have a difference of energy a little bit with water. They don't empower each other very well. So maybe a little bit of a clash in that regard, but it's in the upright, so like there's potential for them to not be toxic about it. It depends on what their demands are though. They can... Oops, sorry, looks like my camera froze. Let me reactivate that. Okay, sorry about that. I actually don't know when that happened. So it might have been 30 seconds or something. Anyways. Yeah, that's tricky to read. I don't know where it's trying to point you to here with Queen of Wands. Strikes me as a boss for some reason. Strikes me as an authority figure. And if they were in the reverse, I would call out that they're who's disrupting your recovery. But they're not in the reverse, they're in the upright, so I would imagine they could understand that. And when I say that, you actually had, wow, the Judgment card come out. So that leads me to believe, as I was saying that, I said they're probably somebody who can understand where you're coming from. Right when I said that, this came out. And that leads me to believe that they are... You might have... I'm not seeing any real anxiety cards here. So maybe there's just a miscommunication. Maybe... I'm not exactly sure exactly what it is, but... It looks like this Queen of Wands would be open to allowing you some recovery time. In a way that would actually serve you. And that their upright energy actually... They understand that that's what's important for you. And they're willing to let you do that. Especially if you're... Especially if they're noticing that your Eight of Pentacles quality is diminishing. So, not terrible. Not terrible. Someone can help you out, I think. Okay, so Seven of Cups poked out a little bit. I'm not going to take it, but water energy. That would be the first water energy on the board here. And that has a lot to do with variety. Sifting through your options. So it could have... I mean, like, I guess the easy one to say would be it would free you to have a lot of options than to take like a vacation or something. So that could kind of match that part. Alright, so you're at 10 minutes, so Whoops. King of Wands reversed, kind of weird. And the Strength card, a little bit. Not matching the Queen of Wands energy. Kind of reminds me of Meryl Streep in that movie with Anne Hathaway, Devil Wears Prada, where like the wife is the one who's like very career successful, and the husband's who's at home more. But that, I don't know if that actually makes sense because she was toxic in her own right, I guess, in that film. So whatever. All right, I'm thinking about switching to. Let's see if this is anything interesting or not. It's 4 cards. I don't know about that. 7 of Swords and Switch. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to switch decks because I feel like it's the right time to do that. So let's see what else we've got here for you, Cancer. King of Wands again on the top, poking out just barely. In reverse again. Very strange. Wants to match that Queen of Wands, but the toxicity is a little weird for that one. The Queen of Wands, even in the upright, might be susceptible to a King of Wands who will just take the actions, regardless of the morality of the situation. Not typically, though, because that disrupts her stability. So let's see here, okay, so... Okay, so these 3 flipped out, so I'm going to show them to you. We've got 4 of Cups, 10 of Wands reversed, and 7 of Wands. So, let's see, how could this play into this? Honestly, what I was thinking off the top was, this is kind of you fighting for this recovery. This is you pre-recovery. You're not really, it's not really floating your boat emotionally anymore. You're ready to put down the burden, and you're willing to stand your ground to fight for that. And it might have taken this reading before you got to this point for fighting for it, but this reading is also telling you that putting the burden down for a little bit is going to help you a lot. And what is it going to help you from? It's going to help you feel better. You're not going to feel stuck in this complacency anymore. So these are very interesting. I'm going to take these 3 because they are very relevant to this. They're very relevant about you. And it's got the 7 of Wands in the upright, which is a sign that you're standing on the right ground. And matching with this Queen of Wands, in the way that Judgment card came out, I would say that, I don't know why it is, but for some reason, you're in a very valid position to understand that you've got to recover properly. And the quality of your effort isn't going to, and plus since you're a water sign, like how you feel really matters. So if you're stuck in this, you're very likely to get this. You're very likely to fall into the 8 of Pentacles in reverse because your feelings matter to you and they embolden who you are and they empower who you are. And if you aren't recharging them properly, they're gonna stick in your craw, man. And that's something, unfortunately, that fire signs have a little bit of a difference in understanding. The fire signs can, like, their own well-being comes from just taking the actions. Like how they feel doesn't equate into the same effect. If they're not getting what they want, it matters, but like there's just a different embrace of the action itself. Whereas with particularly the feminine signs, so earth and water, and with water, like your feelings matter. Your emotionality is baked into your sign, and the way that your personal resonance feels is going to affect your actions. You don't just, it's not like a fire sign that just acts however they want or acts because of how it makes them feel. Acting doesn't always make earth and water signs feel different. Sometimes the feeling has to be different before the actions are different. And it's a little bit of something that fire signs don't understand. So it's very interesting how this toxic King of Wands has tried to come out twice now. But you have a Queen of Wands here who's kind of willing to be open to that, which is very good. So I don't know, maybe there's like a couple bosses. And they're both like kind of up your butt about the hours. Like 14 hours, no break. Or like 50 hours of hard work. And they're disappointed in you because you won't go up to 55 or something like that. Like that's what you would have to do this against. You have to say no way to that stuff. And the universe is saying here that that's good for you, that it's a good ground to stand on. If it was like this, it wouldn't be, but like this, it is. This means that you're standing on the good ground. And the good ground is flipping this around. Anybody expecting this out of you is not on the divine wavelength. This matters for people. Feeling better matters. Recharging themselves and recovering matters, especially if it helps their productivity. And when, like, a very logical, unsensitive, authority individual in a hierarchical structure, like, just makes errant demands of you, it's not a good leadership quality. And a lot of people, like, are very comfortable moving on from that. And you're in a position here where you are moving in the right direction to also feel better about this. And it's going to help everybody in the long run, because you're going to get back to delivering a better quality product. You're going to get back to manifesting a higher quality results, and requires you to recover yourself, regenerate yourself. And you're in a good position because this Queen of Wands is there, who, and I'm not really seeing any anxiety cards, so I don't want to say that you think they might not, but you might think they might not. It's kind of clear here that they are willing to work with you on this. And just watch out for a more masculine leadership figure who's more toxic, because they aren't going to be. That's a little bit of what I'm reading out here from this fire sign coming out, or from the King of Wands trying to come out twice from both decks in reverse. Definitely keep an eye on it. We also have the Queen of Wands, second to bottom on the deck. Again. So stick to that for sure. I wouldn't bother with the other person. The masculine energies. Probably a part of the problem more than they realize. So I'm going to give this one more good shuffle here. One more good sift out. And let's see if we can find anything else. But that was still pretty good. At first I was getting kind of negative because, you know, Eight of Pentacles in reverse can mean a lot of different things. But it's cleared up for you. It started off thinking that you might be a little weird, like a cheater, basically, but these other cards are showing that it's just an effect on your, it's just having an effect on your quality of results. And it might not even be at work. Plenty of wand energy here stipulating that it could be, but it might not be. It might just be an interpersonal capacity too. You know, once again, the fire, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, not water signs. So it's not like you are... It's not like you are... You haven't actually emerged here. The only water card was the Four of Cups, which speaks well to you, the fact that how you feel matters, and how you feel has an effect on the type of actions you're going to take. It's not like fire signs who... They don't need that... That emotionality doesn't get in the way with them. So it's very easy for them to just be like, oh, just do this, just do that. But, like, if they don't understand that, like, water signs and earth signs have a different type of energy they need, like, it's just, they don't understand how their archetype is situated for that quality, and they don't understand that it's not just for everyone. So it's a place where you've got to really stand your ground here if you need to, and recover if you want to do the best for everybody, and if everybody wants the best from you. And it doesn't have to be a fight. Like, there's not like any Five of Wands, Five of Swords cards here. It seems like for the most part, everybody kind of understands what's going on even. Like, it's just all very clear for you. So, I'm going to do one more shuffle. And after that, we will call it. Empress on the split. Also in the reverse, too. So, lacking to recover properly is key there. Alright, let's give this one more shot, and then probably we'll call this after that, if there's nothing. Okay, so these three tried to come out. Let me just see what they are. Strength reversed, Seven of Swords reversed, King of Swords reversed. Not sure. I don't know if I'm going to take these. I'm not actually sure. Very strange to have the Strength card followed by Seven of Swords reversed, King of Swords. King of Swords is not... None of this is your energy. And the only warning I could really get from these cards, I would say, is that just because you watched this reading and I am validating you with this energy, you can't just abandon like a good quality going into this. You still need to kind of have the proper touch going about this. You still need to do this constructively. You can't just do this recklessly and have it work. Like, just because this energy is all aligned for you to be on the right foot when you ask for this break, when you ask for this recovery time, don't do it in a very disingenuous manner. Don't like lose yourself to emotions. Don't start getting reckless and taking things out on people, because that's sort of what this is talking about. It's like abandoning the right thing for some inappropriate indirect behavior, and it's kind of due to like a logical emotionality that has, or a logical blockage of emotionality to a certain extent that can be a little bit divisive. So try to avoid that divisive energy. Make sure that you just keep your wits about you and don't get overconfident from this reading. Make sure that you still do it the right way. Make sure that you still be respectful, that you don't think now that you're open to acting harshly towards others just because these cards have aligned for you in this way. Just because you're in a place where this break might come through and you might be able to fight for your break, stand your ground on why that's good for you, that doesn't mean that you can achieve that by acting however you want to whoever you want to. So definitely still make sure that you cinch it up and be constructive in how you approach this. But if you can do that constructively, it looks like you'll get what you need here, which is an opportunity to recover, and not a rushed recovery, but an actual steady, effective recovery. So, all right, Cancer, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps. Take care and make sure you get your healing done.